I'd like to call to order the Scotch Plains Fanwood Board of Education regular public meeting for January 26, 2017. Mrs. Sarah Gaffey, could you please call the roll?
Mrs. Brody? Here. Dr. Clancy? Here. Dr. Kulikowski? Here. Mr. Murray?
Here.
Mrs. Soriani?
Here.
Ms. Williams?
Here.
Ms. Winkler?
Here.
Ms. Cleary? Here. Ms. Bennett?
Here.
Quorum is present.
Thank you. Please join us in the salute. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The board just met in executive session and we discussed personnel. And notice of this meeting was given to the Borough Clerk of Fanwood, the Township Clerk of Scotch Plains, to the Times, and to the Patch. We do have additions to the agenda. I think all of them are listed already except for 9S, which is the employee calendar, and 4 OBB, which is the supervisor contract. Anybody have anything else? Okay, in accordance with Scotch Plains Fanwood Public School Bylaws 0164 and 0165, we have an opportunity for the public to come to the microphone. If there's anyone who would like to come and speak, please give us your name and the town in which you reside.
Lisa Chiroka, I'm from Scotch Plains, and I am the president of the PTA Council. And we would like to recognize the board members for all that they do for our children and also for the families in the community. So we just have a little token of our appreciation. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. You all are always so sweet to come out in January. And we have real life students too. We don't always get real life students in our meetings. So I think this is a good opportunity not only to thank the PTA for a wonderful partnership, working with the board and supporting all of our schools and our students, but to mention that we have our joint coffee coming up on February 7th, I believe it is, and at Terrell Middle School at 7:30. So while it's on TV, we want to be sure and promote and encourage people to come out and to say how much we appreciate the work that you all do too. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. If anybody wants to stay, we do have an exciting instructional update out there. But if you have homework, you don't have to feel like you have to stay.
Some of these students may be doing double.
Oh, they're doing double duty. Oh, I get it. Okay.
Okay, so I am pleased tonight to indicate that tonight we're going to have an update on our Students to Science program and also FOSS, our full optional science system. But I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Mast, our Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum, Instruction, and Technology, so that she can introduce the update tonight.
Thank you, Dr. Green. Tonight we have the pleasure of learning about 2 areas that have been a focus of the science department under the leadership of Rujula Bajaj, our district science supervisor. We're going to learn about steps she has taken this year to support our work in elementary science and also creating opportunities for student leadership. She will be introducing our student leaders who are here with us tonight, and I will now turn it over to Ms. Bajaj.
Thank you, Dr. Miles.
So,
I'm going to.
Are you using this?
Yes.
Because we'll put down the screen and we'll.
Just be sure you're talking to the microphone.
I'm going to let the picture speak for me.
Okay.
You're seeing our youngest scientists and engineers at work over here. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to give you an update regarding 2 exciting initiatives that our district is working on. One of them is problem-based learning activity, and what you just saw was our youngest scientists and engineers in action. I'm sorry I couldn't put any music because of the short turnaround time I had. These young kids, they were posed with a real-world problem, and they had to come up with a solution. What you see over there is the problem that we posed to our kindergarten students. They were told that they worked for Hershey Park, and they had to design a new roller coaster ride. This goes with their materials and motion unit in science, and as the students learned about the concepts of the properties of wood, paper, fabric, as well as motion of objects, and how that motion is affected by shape and size, as well as the effect of the incline of the roadways or the ramps on an object. They learned these concepts while trying to come up with a solution to the problem that was posed to them, designing the roller coasters. They are currently working on it. That's why I did not have any pictures of the finished product. But I am hoping to be back here soon in the near future with the finished product as well as the teachers so that they can share with you their experiences. For the first grade, we had another exciting problem-based unit. Their real-world scenario was strike up the band. There's a rock concert competition in their school, and they have been entered into the competition. There are no instruments, which is not the case, but that's what the scenario was posed to them. We do not have any instruments, and so we must create our own instruments. Acting as engineers and scientists, each group will study the science of sound, and work together to design one musical instrument. Now, sound and light are pretty heavy physics concepts. Our first graders are learning concepts of vibration, pitch, volume of sound, and the methods to amplify sound, comparing how sound travels through solids, liquids, and air. And they are learning these concepts as they are building a musical instrument. Now, these problem-based learning units were designed and developed last summer, during 2016 summer, as part of the district's cyclic curriculum review and revision process, and also to align our curriculum with the next generation science standard. The next generation science standard places a heavy emphasis of engineering in the science classroom. A quick recap of what exactly the next generation science standards are. They were developed from the research of the National Research Council on how students learn science. It places the emphasis on how we teach science and defines the big ideas that are applied and reoccur from kindergarten through 12. So it lays an emphasis on a spiraling curriculum, rather than just doing one thing at one grade level and then never touching on it again, right? Building on the concepts slowly and with increasing complexity. So the next generation science standards, they lay out a new vision for science education, where they talk about students' ear-to-ear experience with active engagement in scientific and engineering practices leads to a deeper understanding of cross-cutting concepts and content. There are two major goals of the next generation science standards. Number one is educating all students in science and engineering, and the second is providing foundational knowledge to support future careers in science, engineering, and technology. We are currently trying to train students for jobs that are yet to be developed, that are not out there. So as a teacher, it really is a very scary thing that what am I preparing them for? I don't even know what kind of a job I'm preparing them for. But that is the reality of teachers today. The next generation science standards, they are now written by grade level. Earlier, they were by grade band. Like the language used to say by the end of 5th grade, by the end of 8th grade, by the end of 12th grade. Now, it is every grade level. And like I said earlier, it's a spiraling curriculum. At every grade level, students study all the three branches of science: life science, physical science, as well as earth science, with increasing complexity. To give you an example of how they differ from the old standards. On the left-hand side, you see this is the content. We're talking about how plants and animals require food, water, and light in order to grow. Earlier, the CPI, or the Cumulative Progress Indicator, used to say, describe the requirements for the care of plants and animals. The key word being describe. On the right-hand side are the performance expectation according to the new standard. Look at the language difference. Now, students are required to plan and conduct an investigation to determine if plants need sunlight and water to grow. Right there is a stock example of the difference. The verb describe and plan and conduct, in one case earlier it was just gain knowledge, whereas now it is application. Huge conceptual shift from knowing about, now we are working on figuring out. Earlier students, the emphasis was on recitation, now it is on reasoning. From retention, we are moving to transfer, which means we are, instead of treating students as consumers, we are now treating them as producers. The new standards lay emphasis on 8 science and engineering practices. And all science curricula is based on these 8 practices. Some of them we were already doing. I will just point out a couple of important and new ones. Asking questions, we always encourage that in science, that students should be asking questions why something happens. But the new thing over here is designing solutions. Earlier we would give the students a lab procedure and they just had to follow it. Now it is design your own procedure. How are you going to figure this out? Plan and conduct the experiment. The other one is engaging in argument from evidence. Generally the word argument always has a negative connotation, but now here we are talking about how do you discuss and your ideas and convince people that your idea or your solution is the right solution. But again, not just because you're the dominant person in the room, but what is the evidence? And this also goes with the common core, same language, evidence-based reasoning and answers. As usual, state never gives us a lot of time for turnaround. New Jersey adopted the new standards in July 2014, and the timeline given was grades 6 through 12 implementation, September 2016, and grades K through 5, September 2017. So of course, since the implementation date for 6 through 12 was earlier, we worked on revising the 6 through 12 grade curriculum earlier, before we moved on to the elementary. But before we started the work, it was exciting. We treated it as an exciting opportunity to reevaluate how we teach science and to augment our science teaching skills, develop new instruction, and also to align practices across disciplines. Find areas where we could do interdisciplinary work and apply and reinforce the practices which are already in use in other disciplines, and also to bring in new resources. So 6 to 12 grade curriculum was completed during the years 2014-15 and 15-16. There were 2 major shifts. In grades 6 through 8, we adopted an integrated science curriculum, and in the high school, physical science standards for all students. Once that was complete, we moved to the elementary school, grades K through 5, and we analyzed our existing curricula, and we found that we needed to upgrade the science program at the elementary level. We were using FOSS 2nd edition, copyright 2005-2009, and for kindergarten, we were using the Insight Science program from 2003. So it was time to update our program. Secondly, the kindergarten, we were moving from a half day to a full day kindergarten program. So the kindergarten program that was in place was not going to be suitable for a full day. We decided that it would be a good time to take a look at the Insight program and see if the FOSS program could be also extended to kindergarten, since we already had it for 1st through 5th grade. So that's what we evaluated the different programs, and we selected the FOSS for it. After doing a lot of math and planning, we went for a 3-year transition program, planning to transition 2 grade levels each year. So 2016-17, we are working on kindergarten and 1st grade. Starting summer of 2017-18, we'll start working on 2nd and 3rd grade, and the following year on 4th and 5th grade. 3 areas were identified as in need where we needed to work: selecting the right program, developing and designing the curriculum, and providing the necessary staff professional development for our staff. We reviewed a number of different programs, and we found that the FOSS program that we were using in our district was meeting the needs of our district and our students very well. So there was no need to just turn everything upside down and go for a brand new program. So we decided to stay with the FOSS program, but upgrade it to the next generation edition. from the 2005 edition that we were following. Last summer, a group of teachers from kindergarten and first grade, we worked on designing and developing the new curricula. All the work was entered into the district's curriculum software, which is Atlas Rubicon. And also, we decided to take one unit out of the 3 units at each grade level and design it as a problem-based learning activity, which also goes with the district's strategic plan and new vision of providing authentic learning experiences to all students. The aim is to extend it to all the 3 units, but one at a time. So this year we went with the physical science units, and that shouldn't be any surprise since I'm a physical science person. I naturally gravitate towards that. Not to say that we won't do the others. In fact, today I met with the first grade teachers for one of these professional development sessions, and we were working on the third and the last module, which is air and weather, and we already started throwing ideas about problem-based learning unit that could go with the air and weather. So the teachers are already excited and asking me, are we going to work on this next summer? So I'll get back to you, but I'm pretty sure we will be working on that. So for the professional development for the teachers, 3 sessions were planned. One full-day PD session was planned during this summer to familiarize the staff with the new FOSS as well as the next generation science standards. Then we met in October before we started the module which had the problem-based learning activity. So the second day full-day session in October dealt with the teacher training on the second module as well as problem-based learning. Now we are going into the third session, PD session, which is going to be a half-day session. I met with the first grade teachers today, and I'm scheduled to meet with the kindergarten teachers on March 1st for their third PD session. And I hope to get an opportunity to come back again in the near future with the teachers and hopefully some of the little kids, the young scientists, so that they can share with you their excitement. I've been going into the classrooms and just seeing I can't tell you, I don't have words to express the joy I felt when I saw these little first graders talking to me about vibration and showing me how when they change their pitch or volume of the sound and they're touching their vocal cords over here and showing me how the vibration changes. Just the fact that they were able to pronounce and use the words vibration and explain to me how that vibration affects sound and how if you stop the vibration of a string the sound stops, that was just amazing. The only difficult part was getting up from the carpet. That was the only difficult part, otherwise it was such fun in that classroom. So, I don't know, I'm just excited. So thank you for giving us the support, the funds that were necessary to make this shift, and I hope to continue this good work.
Okay, let us go back. We'll see if
No, there's one more.
Oh.
In a hurry today.
It sounded like we're finishing.
No, we're not. There's another exciting part. Students to Science. For those of you who are not familiar with it, we established a partnership with Students to Science Incorporated in September 2013. And as part of this partnership, 40 8th graders from both the schools, middle schools, are selected and they travel to the lab facility in East Hanover 3 times in the year, and they work under the guidance of science professionals, experts in this field, on experiments. It's a real lab, actual, what should I say, state-of-the-art equipment which students use. And they do the labs themselves. Nobody holds their hand, they do it themselves. Besides the scientists which are there are also some college students which assist the scientists leading the students. Last year, 2 of our students, high school students, when they visited as part of the high school program, they took the initiative on their own to approach the president of Students to Science, who happened to be in the lab that day, and ask if they could volunteer as student mentors. Do exactly what the college students were doing. Dr. Winslow, the president of Students to Science, he is always looking at, that was the objective of his program, to motivate the students to go into the sciences. And he's not the one to say no. He said, just talk to Mrs. Bajaj, if she's fine with you, you are welcome. So these girls contacted me and we got the ball rolling. So last year, 2 sophomores went. This year, we expanded it to 9th grade. So this year we took 2 9th graders also. And they went there and they acted as mentors. These are the 4 people, Brianna, Danielle, Lindsay, and Danisha. Unfortunately, Danisha could not be here with us tonight, but she sent us what she wanted to share with this forum. So I'm going to turn the mic over to the young ladies over here and let them talk to you about their experiences.
Hi, I'm Danielle Goodstein. I'm a junior at Scotland High School. I started going to Students of Science my freshman year, so I actually didn't go in 8th grade. And there were some openings, I guess, from people who went to the magnet schools from the 8th grade trip, because they usually bring the same people. And so in my biology class, one of the teachers came into my class and had permission slips, and they kind of just said, if anyone wants to go on the trip, first come, first serve. So I grabbed that chance, and because I was jealous, I didn't go in 8th grade because everyone had fun and everyone went on a field trip 3 times. So I made sure that I got to school extra early. I slid it under the door before the teacher got there, and I got into the program. So after that, I went as a student in 9th grade, and then Brianna and I were so interested in it. I remember the experiment was it was finding a natural alternative to aspirin from extracting it from wintergreen oil. So I just thought that was so cool. So, and also when I was there, I was able to talk to so many people who are such a great resource, who are so experienced in the field. And ultimately that and being a mentor there too, all of that ultimately helped me realize that I want to go into chemistry. I'm now an AP Chem student, and I'm in Science League now. And I'm looking into a summer internship at the lab also. So I guess it just really opened me up to the science field, actually with professional careers, what I can actually do with all of this. It's like legit applications of what we're learning. So, yeah.
Hi, I'm Greta McGowan. I'm a junior as well at Scotland High School. I was actually very fortunate to be able to go on the program in 8th grade, so I was one of the first 40 students to be able to take this initiative. So when I went in 8th grade, it was a little scary at first. I went into a lab with all this expensive equipment. I was like, I don't want to touch anything. I don't know. But once I started, I started feeling myself break out of my shell, and I started working with this, I'll say, cool equipment with these amazing scientists who were so intelligent and knew so much. And I began to realize, wait a minute, I think I might actually like this. And then I went in 9th grade again, and I realized how much I really was passionate about the sciences, and it really opened up a total new door for me. And as I'm also an AP Chem student now, and I'm so interested in science, I want to study chemistry and environmental studies. So this has really, really opened that for me. And being able to work like students is such an amazing opportunity, because I'm put in a leadership position, and I can put those skills in real life. And in doing so, I was inspired to start a program with the 5 elementary schools. So I'm currently working on a STEM initiative for the aftercare programs through the YMCA at the 5 elementary schools in SPF. And I hope to really bring that science initiative to them. I hope to get them also interested in science. And then I'm also looking into a summer program at the Students of Science facility, because I think it would be so amazing to work with PhD scientists and really continue my research.
Hi, my name is Lindsay McGee, and I'm a freshman at the high school right now. I started the program when I was in 8th grade, and honestly, when I first tried it, I was very fascinated by all the different things that were happening in the lab. And while I'm not really all that interested in a profession in science, I am interested as an artist to figure out what I can do in terms of the arts with all the things that I've learned at Students of Science. And as a mentor, I've found different ways to be able to actually talk to people, because like, I'm really incredibly shy, and honestly, being able to like talk to the incoming freshmen, like the 8th graders right now, being able to like explain things to them, having them listen to me, ask questions, just basically communicate back and forth, like a teacher or a mentor would do. It really makes me feel a lot more confident in myself, I guess. So the program's really helped me a lot.
Can you tell us about your art project,
Oh,
the Science Center?
okay. I actually made a video incorporating what I had learned from Students of Science. I essentially just use acetone to, what's the word? Basically like melt down a, dissolve a styrofoam map of the USA with a little bit of inspiration behind it. Honestly, it's the one video, it's one of the few videos I've made that I truly consider to be art. And I hope to incorporate everything that I've learned about science into everything that I do in art.
Yeah. And then on behalf of the manager who couldn't be here tonight, I know that Brianna and I had mentored her when she was in 8th grade. She talked to Ms. Bajaj and said, I want to do what they're doing. And with not a ton of like high school science background, like she's still a freshman, she was still able to help out a lot when she was put into that leadership position. Did you say anything else to you guys? I don't know.
All right, thank you so much.
I do want to ask questions. Don't disappear.
Now we should go for that.
Now?
Now you can go. Yeah, you guys stay here.
Experience it sounds like it definitely made an impression on you. But as a woman with a science background, I have to say I'm super excited that you have girls that are really excited thinking about pursuing science careers. That's really exciting. Yes. Ms. Brogan.
I just want to say, as a former EEF trustee who started this, it's really incredible to sit here and see how successful it was and how successful it is for you guys. And also, I think it grew into something that I don't think it was expected to grow into. So the mentorship here is wonderful, so thank you.
Yes, Dr. Clancy.
And you all were wonderful, and I hope you continue to have a wonderful time doing this experience. And the idea of helping younger students along is really lovely. It's wonderful. And I did want to thank you for helping to supervise all of this, because you're very enthusiastic, and it's your passion for the science that is helping to
But thank you for your
keep it
support. I
moving.
couldn't have done it alone.
It's really wonderful, so
Thank
thank you. Thank you all.
Okay. Anyone else? I wanted to just mention a couple of things. One, I wanted to say what a great job you did. I think other people mentioned that as well, but it's not easy to come and stand and talk in front of a group, and you all have wonderful presence, so whatever you decide to do, those speaking skills will be great. And I did want to mention that one career that you could think about is teaching, because we need lots of science teachers. I'm sure our science supervisor would agree. And there is lots of funding to go to school for people who are interested in the sciences. And I just want to mention the science and the art. I always think of Da Vinci and how he was really, doing both things at the same time. So sometimes we think of content isolated, but it's really not. It's very integrated. And I wanted to add my thanks too, because I know that our science supervisor was very instrumental in bringing this program to Scotch Plains, and we're very fortunate that she had those connections and made this happen. So it is a pleasure to have students with us. We really, it makes a meeting for us, and thank you. Thank you.
I too would like to thank Ms. Pajaj for making the presentation this evening. And when you see her working with the teachers and showing the excitement with FOSS and adding that PBL layer, it really makes the work very tangible for the students and the teachers. So it's been an incredible year of professional development. And to follow up on what Ms. Brody said regarding the initiative with the EEF, this is a perfect example that you were able to fund and pilot something that was so successful that the district now has taken it on, and it's impacting more students. So thank you to the EEF and to the board for all of the support of the science program. And thank you, students, for coming.
And I just want to ditto everything that's been said. The excitement that you see when you go into a kindergarten and first grade class with the children exploring science in real time is just amazing. And the fact that you're able now to begin to bring that as a student leader to after-school initiatives for our students not only models for them the very importance that older students can have in modeling for younger students, but it also just reinforces the opportunities that they'll have as they get older. So that person-to-person experience is very valuable. They will remember the things they do with you in that program. And the art connections to science are amazing. And the fact that you girls are in AP chemistry, congratulations. Those, it's so important for all of our students, but particularly young women, to have these opportunities. We really need your good thinking in science. So our thanks to all of you, to Ms. Bajaj, and to Dr. Mass for her leadership in terms of the curriculum development. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
To get out here tonight.
Yes.
And if I could just add one more thing, can we see the roller coasters? I know, come back with a slideshow of or bring some of the roller coasters.
Please bring some.
I'd love to see them.
And it might be a good time to do a plug for EEF. Whoever wants to, has the date in front of them. It was March
9th, I believe. March 9th, the EEF is going to be having their, now, it seems like almost annual beefsteak dinner. It will be at the Italian American Club. If you Google the EEF, it's the EEF of SPF online. There's information, and it's through their fundraising efforts that we were able to springboard the original Students to Science program. So they continue to do great work in terms of supporting particularly teacher-driven initiatives through a grant program for our teachers, and we really welcome their partnership and their support.
So it's a fun way to spend $40 and support teachers in our district as well.
And it's a good meal, too.
Yes.
Like Jan, so it's really not a bad night.
Okay, and you really don't have to stay if you have.
Thank you.
But thank you again for coming. We really appreciate it. So I don't know if we have any new committee reports since last week. Last week we had a number. who is doing negotiations update? Dr. Kulikowski?
The negotiations for the supervisors committee met this past Monday evening. Things went well. We did a little bit of back and forth negotiations, but we have come to an agreement, and things that were requested were addressed, discussed, negotiated appropriately, and I believe we'll be signing that shortly. And I have.
It's on, I think it's on the agenda for us to vote on. So thank you to the board members who worked on the
Tanya
negotiations.
Williams, Debbie Brody, and myself were the board representatives, along with Debbie and Dr. Hayes and John Mayer. Board, excuse me.
And you're recommending ratification?
Oh, I certainly do recommend that.
Okay, so we have the committee's recommendation, and we'll be voting on that in a few minutes. So Dr. Hayes, that brings us to your portion of the agenda.
Thank you. One as tonight, I would ask that the board approve the out-of-district placement that is listed on the agenda.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. 2S, I would ask that the board approve the superintendent's decisions in the 3 December HIV cases that were reported in executive session on December 15th and December 22nd.
So moved.
Okay.
From the 15th.
All those in favor?
Aye.
3S, tonight, I would ask that the board approve the addition of the Scotch Plains Post Office and the Family Post Office as destinations for field trips. Particularly our kindergarten students are interested in going to the post offices as part of one of their units, exploring the community. And then we'll add them onto the list that you approve annually. And the high school students in the freshman accelerated English classes would like to attend the movie Fences as a complement to their studying Lorraine Hansberry's A Raisin in the Sun.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
4S and 9S, I'm going to group together. This is the approval of the district, proposed district calendar for the 2017-18 year, accompanied by the 12-month employee calendar.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
5S, I'd like you to approve the addition of the creative summer workshop classes. These are in addition to the ones that were previously approved.
So moved. Second.
Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you. 6S, tonight I would ask that the board acknowledge the New Jersey Department of Education's approval of our school's self-assessments for determining grades under the anti-bullying Bill of Rights for the district and school reports for 2015-16. Kaylin Taggart reported up on these to you at the end of last year, and the State Department then reviews our self-assessments, and they have affirmed our self-assessments, so there were no changes in those grades.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And then tonight, I would ask that the board approve the action plan that we are asked to submit related to the Elementary and Secondary Education Accountability Act. This has to do with our participation in PARC. We did fine on the progress of students under PARC. However, we did not hit the 95% participation rate that is required under ESEA. And so as a result of that, we're asked to submit an action plan to try to increase student participation in PARC. Dr. Mast has worked with the supervisors and principals to put that together, and we would ask that the board approve that action plan tonight so that we can submit it to the New Jersey Department of Education.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And then finally, we would ask that the board approve the kindergarten report card that was released to the curriculum committee previously, and now we would like the full board to approve it so that we can use it to report on the progress of students in our full-day kindergarten program.
So moved. Second.
Any questions? Any questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor? Opposed?
And then I would ask that the board approve the personnel agenda as reviewed in exec this evening.
So moved. Second.
Okay, Mrs. Saradaki, you want to call the roll?
Dr. Kulikowski?
Yes.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Ms. Brody?
Yes.
Dr. Clancy?
Yes.
Ms. Suriani?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Winkler?
Yes.
Ms. Cleary?
Yes.
Ms. Sam?
Yes.
Thank you, and that concludes my report.
Okay, so we have another opportunity for the public according to policies 0164 and 0165. If anyone would like to come to the microphone, please give us your name and the town in which you reside. Okay, seeing no one, we're going to move on to the business functions. I will just say for anyone watching on TV that we did have opportunities to ask questions. We saw the committee reports and had opportunities to ask questions at our meeting last week, so we'll move on to the business functions.
Okay, I will group these if nobody has any objection. 1BUS is approving of staff training on the superintendent's recommendation for staff training reimbursements on the report dated January 26th. This includes, I believe, additions on the agenda. 2BUS, I'd like the board to acknowledge receipt of the disbursement listings for the month of December 2016. 3BUS, I'd like the board to acknowledge the receipt of the district school security and fire drill reports for the month of December 2016. 4BUS, I'd like the board to approve the cost of $8,500 for Aquarius Capital to provide actuarial consulting services for post-employment benefits. Every other year we have to do a full valuation. 5BUS, I'd like the board to approve our contract renewal for Prevention Specialists Incorporated in the amount of $250. That does not include lab costs for the DOT random drug testing for our bus drivers. 6BUS, I'd like the board to approve a construction change order. This is for the roofing that was done during the summer of 2016. We had to do some repointing on the masonry at Park Middle School, wall flashing at School 1, and also enclosing an area between the chimney and wall on Park Middle School for a total cost of $25,932.50, which leaves a remaining contingency, which, considering the job is done now, will be refunded to our capital reserve in the amount of $46,328.50. 7BUS, I'm asking for the transfer of funds from capital reserve for various projects that we will hopefully move forward on this spring. And also 8BUS, the transfer of funds from maintenance reserve for projects that we plan to move forward with. 9BUS, I'm asking for the board's approval of replacement HVAC unit at School 1. This is for heat and air conditioning. The unit is being held together basically by duct tape at this point. The cost of this unit is $19,156 under the Ed Data Co-op bid. 10BUS, I'm asking the board to approve additional related services from private vendors for the 2016-17 school year. This is for nursing services and social skill sessions. 11BUS, I'm asking for the board's approval of the acceptance of the NFL Foundation grant in the amount of $2,000. 12BUS, I'm asking the board to approve a contract with Lincoln Technical Institute for internship program where the students come and work with our tech people in our district. This is no cost to the district. It is training for these people, and it also does assist us. 13BUS, I'm asking the board to acknowledge receipt of the board secretary's report the treasurer's school funds report and the budget adjustments for the month ending December 31st, 2016. And 14 BUS, I'm asking the board to approve bills from the period December 23rd, 2016 to January 20th, 2017 in the amount of $5,483,304.29. And 15 BUS, I'm asking for the board to approve an additional vendor for the Rep Theater production this spring, and that is Matthew Capitacasa, to advise the director at a cost of $1,500. That's paid for out of the proceeds of Rep Theater.
Second. Okay, questions or comments on, for Mrs. Saradaki on any of these items? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that brings us to board policies. Mrs. Winkler.
Yes, I'd like to move that the board approve second and final reading for adoption of the following policies. P3159, teaching staff member / school district reporting responsibilities. P3231, outside employment as athletic coach. P4159, support staff member / school district reporting responsibilities. P5305, health services personnel. P5350, student suicide prevention. And R5350, student suicide. And I'll remind you that these policies are, the changes to them were all citations changes and minor wording changes. There were no substantive changes.
So moved. Second.
Okay. I moved it.
So, yeah. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you very much. Is there any new board business from anyone? Okay, under other board business, requests to attend workshops or workshop reports? All right, to OBB, we have a resolution for Black History Month. Who would like to read this? Okay, Mr. Murray.
I'd like to move the Board of Education adopt the following resolution, whereas the Scotch Plains Family Board of Education recognizes the extensive civil, social, and religious contributions made by African Americans, including residents of Scotch Plains and Fanwood, and whereas the Board further recognizes the vital importance of affording all residents of Scotch Plains and Fanwood, especially young persons, the opportunity to study and understand Black history both nationally and with respect to the communities of Scotch Plains and Fanwood and the County of Union, for the purpose of ensuring that our citizens, especially young persons, are fully familiar with the entire history of human experience. Now therefore be it resolved that the Scotch Plains Family Board of Education hereby proclaims the month of February 2017 as Black History Awareness Month.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. 3 OBB is our new committees for the coming year since our reorganization. Does anybody see anything that needs to be changed before we vote?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And then we have 4 OBB, which is the supervisor contract, which Dr. Kulikowski had mentioned and explained. Is there a second? Thank you. Okay. All those in favor of approving?
Aye.
Opposed? We don't have to do a roll call on that? Nope? Okay, we have minutes to approve from December. I don't know if anybody needs to abstain from any of those.
December 22nd. Understanding December 22nd.
Okay,
I'm from December 15th.
for all of them.
Last chance.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so we have one last opportunity for the public in accordance with policy 0164 and 0165, if anybody would like to come to the microphone. Okay, that brings us to the good of the order. Anyone has anything that they would like to share?
Yes.
Dr. Clancy?
I was very lucky to attend the Union County Swim Championships at Rutgers on Saturday, where the girls and boys team did a wonderful job. The girls won for the third year in a row. They won the county championships, and the boys put on a very, very strong second place. So it was very exciting. So it's a lot of hard work, and the coaches are wonderful.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I do actually. I just wanted to mention that in the community, the JCC is going to be providing a free screening of the movie documentary Life Animated. It's a documentary that chronicles the coming of age story of a man with autism, and you are welcome to attend. I'm furiously looking at the date for this. They had provided this to me, let's see. In February 21st, it's a Tuesday, 7 o'clock at the Scotch Plains JCC. Anyone interested is welcome to attend.
Okay, anything else for the good of the order?
So I had the good fortune to attend the high school pops concert last night, and as usual, they did an amazing job. And we have new advisors working with some of those groups, and the music just continues. So hats off to them. It was a very enjoyable evening.
Wonderful, thank you.
And
And I see Mrs. Winkler had something as well.
Yeah, I was going to mention the Pops concert also, which I thought was lovely. I felt badly for the jazz band when they came out. Mr. Ellis announced that they were running short on time and they could only do one season. I know that they go and they work hard to practice for that, so I felt badly for them. But I thought it was a great concert. I thought all the bands performed really nicely, and the music selections were lovely. Also, I neglected to mention last week that at the MLP Day of Service, I had seen a presentation by our Black Student Union, which I thought was really nice too. They created a video about prejudice that they experience, sometimes microaggressions and things like that. And they did a really nice presentation. It was well done. I was very impressed with them.
Okay. And you had something else, Dr.
yes,
Hayes?
and then we want to celebrate that again.
Oh, so we'll mention again about the coffee. It's at the bottom of our agenda, the board and the PTA at Terrell Middle School, 7:30. And we encourage everyone from the public to come. It's an informal session and opportunity to share and ask questions, and we look forward to it every year. So.
And we have one more very good piece of good news. You recall that we had a recent Board of Ed presentation that was done by Alex Hanner and Barbara Prestridge on memories and identity expressions through art and writing. Remember, you all had your hands-on activities that night?
Yes.
Well, two of the students who were present, Julia Rosen and Charlie Garrett, we had 2 students there that night, and 5 student pieces have been accepted into the Kane University exhibition. So 5 of the pieces that collective group of students put together from that experience, their pieces will be on exhibition at Kane University through their exhibition called Explorations into Diversity, Identity, and Inclusion. The exhibit is in the Human Rights Institute Gallery, and the opening is on January 31st from 5 to 8 p.m., and the exhibit will be on display until May.
Wonderful, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, so thank you very much. We'll see each other again on February 7th. And is there a motion to adjourn?
So,
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
I know no one's opposed, so have a good night.